Where there is excess capacity, there is inefficiency. There has to be some strategy behind it. It doesn't create mayhem. We are going to be talking a little bit about capacity. This is something that comes up a lot in production businesses, but really applies to every business, because where there is excess capacity, there is inefficiency. And where there is overcapacity, where there's too much opportunity coming in for that person to be able to handle, probably a good problem to have. Right? Too many leads and not able to get to them quickly enough. Now we are in a overcapacity. We have a bottleneck, and then it's time to look to scale. So for anybody looking to scale, and that's the name of the game these days, right? But we have to do it smart, right? There has to be some strategy behind it, and there has to be a methodology in place to make it where it doesn't create mayhem when we begin to scale. So we have to have all of our processes in place before we really push. So what we see is a lot of folks want results in an unrealistic time period, right? It's usually we are motivated by fear and pain. So we have some reason that we begin to search for an alternative marketing strategy. This has happened to me, right? Where I'm not getting results. I just realize, oh, cash flow is a little tight here. We really need to step it up. And a lot of times we get into that situation. Now we're really have our backs against the wall because we don't have as much to work with. Now we could be getting into this place of scarcity where we're very concerned about every dollar, and oh no, we can't have it waste. So then it becomes, if I screw this up, if this doesn't work, I'm dead. And too much pressure, right? So it's important to start slow with any marketing strategy, give it enough time, learn it all, get it dialed in, no pun intended, in your agency, and then scale, right? Once it's working, just get one, get the process down. And you're gonna be thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 50 leads a day for that one, but there's a lot to learn at the beginning, and you won't have that person at capacity unless you're buying too many leads at that moment. So the key to finding that capacity, identify that it's an opportunity to scale, and then continue to do that over and over after the learning process, right? Get the learning curve, get the results. Once we have those producers saying, hey, we need more, if they say we need more, then we got to push, right? And they get it, and they're starting to get results, then we're going to add more leads, add more telemarketing. If we get into the point where they have too many, but they get it, then again, we're going to add more, because now we're going to add more on the producer side. Depending on which side of the equation the capacity is at, is where we're going to make that decision. Once we have an understanding of our marketing program, we see that it's performing, and this takes 30 to 60 days to really have good insight, and then we push. Again, identify the capacity issue. Where is it? Is it working aside from that capacity piece? Meaning, is the funnel working? Are we getting enough dials? Do we have an acceptable contact rate? Are we getting about 5 to 10% of the contacts turning into quoted households? And then we're going to look at optimizing our sales process by looking at the closing rate and then comparing to the market. So this is the way that you can strategically scale. A way that I think is less effective and potentially more risky and can lead to pitfalls in that you could end up not having results, ejecting, and very well killing the thing that would have been the saving marketing strategy, is to get too many telemarketers and too many leads off the bat and not have an understanding of the entire telefunnel, and then becoming overwhelmed and having it go sideways and way too much spend. And that is absolutely what we don't want, right? There's an acceptable level of spend for each unit of telefunnel production. So one telemarketer pushing 25 to 50 leads over to 1 or 2 salespeople is okay. But as they fill up, again, identify when we need another telemarketer more leads, or when we need another producer to take all that activity that's coming in. And we have to look at it holistically, not just one telemarketer and getting X number of transfers, but also how many callbacks are happening. Are the producers quoting those callbacks? So there's a lot to take into account and a lot to think about. So I'm going to stop it there with your head swimming with a bunch of numbers. We are grateful that you're here. So take care. And that is another agency playbook.